What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, we are joined by my co-hosts, my sister, Delilah, and my brother,
Derek. What's up, everybody?
And this week is Shark Week.
Wow.
we should have did a Shark Month, man.
Man,
you guys think of that?
Better at this next time.
I don't know. But we did look at some sharks this week as we are talking about Jaws, the 1975 thriller by Steven Spielberg. And of course, later on, we'll be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Like way back 1975. That's what threw me when I looked at the date.
Yeah.
And I feel like it still holds up to this day. Like that's very iconic movie.
Except for in the end when there's a lot of shark.
CGI would definitely done that better in 2021.
I think this is the first time I've watched the movie fully. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I never sat down and watched this movie. So it's technically my first time seeing it. And I have to say, it's pretty good. I thought the shark was okay. There were parts where I'm like, okay, that looks like it's like one of the plastic things you see in the museum. Well, it looks like it's one of those.
Is at the very end when it's eating Quint. That is when technology betrays it, because it's just like, oh
yeah. I was kind of mad. I'm like, why they have to kill him? I felt like all three of them should have survived.
I would say watching the movie, I was rooting for all three of them. Because sometimes you watch a movie and there's like a certain character where you just like, yeah, he can go ahead and die. And it's just like in Jaws, I wanted all three of them to survive.
Okay, but I don't know. I feel like some of the townspeople, like the mayor, someone, they could have gone ahead and kicked him to the bird.
But
the mayor ain't getting on the water.
Not getting in the water. he was smart.
Again, we don't talk about that. So, I have to say, for the most part, I thought it held up, but I think he was smart in really keeping it out of view for the majority of the movie. Mm-hmm. I think it probably added to the movie, and two, because the technology wasn't really good enough to make it look realistic. I feel like that worked in their favor.
That is a very interesting. Oh, go ahead, Derek. Before I go with mine.
I was going to say that when it comes to, I feel like, and I mean, I know just with the three of us, we're not big on horror movies. But I feel like the best kind is the ones that don't show you, give you the suspense. I feel like I'm more scared because of not knowing. It's that feeling of not knowing. It's just okay, is it there? Is it there? No? Okay. And so it's just with the shark, not always seeing it or the suspense of the shark and then it be nothing. I feel like that's what held this movie up too. As I kind of compared it to Signs, with Signs, it's you never saw the alien to the very end, and it's just that suspense of it. And I feel like that's why this movie holds up to today.
So, all very interesting that you guys bring that up, because that was not the original plan. They actually built a mechanical shark, but the salt water was messing with the controls, so it was real finicky, and they couldn't get it to work right. So he had to shoot the movie without the shark because the shark wasn't working.
Worked out for the better.
It turned out for the better because never seeing it, but you're seeing the view from the water.
Yeah.
It helps the movie so much, and Derek brings out that suspense of waiting for something to happen, and then also not seeing the antagonist of the story. I mean, because think about we said at the end of the movie, when we see the shark, we're like, oh, that shark doesn't look great. Imagine if we saw that fake shark throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
might not be good.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe that. So they actually did it in salt water in the ocean.
Oh yeah, I'll bring that up later.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so
Okay.
no pools or anything like that.
No.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie, to me, it holds up surprisingly well. I was surprised at how much it kept my interest. Like I didn't get bored with the movie. I watched it all the way through, and I was like, I was interested in what was happening in the movie from beginning to end. So I thought it was very well put together. I guess that's why Steven Spielberg is who he is.
True.
Yeah.
He has very few bad movies. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, this is probably my second time seeing it. I saw it for the first time a few years ago. And I was like, oh, that's really good. And even now, like watching it today, my second time through, I was literally saying to myself, like, man, this is a good movie. Even though, it's like I know what's happening. And I'm going to, it's not scary. I guess if I saw it in 1975, it would have been.
Right.
But even without like it being scary for me, it was still a good movie. And you bring out like what Steven Spielberg does, like how he shoots characters. Like when we're seeing Brody on the beach and the shark's coming, you zoom in on his face.
Oh, that dolly zoom. I was going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I know you guys hate when I talk about it, but guess what? I haven't talked about this in months. So I felt like, and I can't say the word.
Go ahead.
I know the
Cinnamon. What was it? What's
the
that word?
cinematography. Oh, I nailed it. I nailed it. Cinematography.
You got it.
All right.
You got it this time.
That is excellent, and there was a lot of good ones in there. But I remember because I was watching it with my wife, and like when they hit that dolly zoom, it was really good. Like you got that feeling for like you felt his I guess dread might be the word for it, but you felt that in him when they did that, and I feel like that was a really good use of it, and there were a lot of good shots in this movie.
Right.
I think they did that really good.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think they use the use of handheld cameras a lot. And another thing he wanted to do was he didn't want any land shots. Since they did shoot it on the ocean, he didn't want any land visible. So that way the audience feels like they're just as isolated as the characters.
I was thinking that like at the
I
end of the
did
movie
feel that.
while they're on the boat, I was like, man, how far out are they? I was actually thinking that. So it's interesting you brought that up. Because I was actually thinking that watching, I'm like, man, how far out are they, man? Wow, okay.
Right.
It worked.
Yeah. That's like that's how you shoot a movie. That is how you direct.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely had that feel too. Like I had that feel like watching it, I was saying to myself, I never want to be out in the middle of the ocean. Like, no, that is not a good feeling.
Right. Yeah. So I guess we can discuss the movie from the story from beginning to end. So we start with the first attack on the girl, and then her mannequin hand was in the sand later on. Did not look like a mannequin hand. I'm sorry. It was a mannequin.
It did.
Okay. So I read this on the internet, not sure how true it is. I'm hoping it's true because I like the story. They had a fake hand and didn't like how it looked, so they buried a female crew member, and that is her actual hand?
That's her actual hand.
According to the internet. I hope it's true.
I feel like
super
that's
interesting.
false because it's dangerous. It's dangerous to bury someone in the sand.
It is, but people get buried in the sand all the time. And this is the 70s.
Yeah. They probably would have it where she was breathing.
Well, no one said they
it's a
stuck her
controlled
head in the
situation.
sand.
Yeah, it's a controlled situation.
Okay, all right.
This dude, man, you morbid. My goodness, dude.
I'm just saying, look, if you go to the beach, I know you guys think it's fun. Don't bury people in the sand.
No, yes, it could be dangerous, yes.
Where their chests get caved in from the weight. Okay.
This dude.
No one said they're gonna bury her 6 feet deep. Goodness.
Okay. So we had her that attack, and wow, man, is things not just like they are today with the government of what was this Amity, the town Amity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sitting up there talking about we can't close the beaches because this is when all the money comes in, basically. So he's worried more about the economy than he is about someone getting eaten by a shark.
What gets me is that he looks at like the medical examiner. It's like, oh, it was a boat propeller, right? Wink, 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 wink. Like, go ahead and say that wasn't a shark attack. Like, dude, come on. And then, like, I don't know what the protocols for shark attacks are, but I felt like you at least close it for a little while to investigate.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, after like the third shark attack, you might want to say, okay, we have a problem. And they were still like, but it's the 4th of July. Like, yeah, but people are dying. But then here's another thing, too. If people are dying, I kind of feel like, well, maybe not.
You said people won't go?
People won't go.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. No, that's not true.
No,
that's not true at all.
COVID right now, it didn't stop no one. It stopped no one. People could not stay in their houses for nothing. So, yeah, no. 3 shark attacks would not stop. It would have stopped some people, but not everybody.
It would have stopped me for sure. If one would be enough. Like, that's it. I ain't going there no more.
Yeah.
You could tell me it was a rat, you know, a spider.
First of all, that's worse. If you're telling me there's a rat that dismembered a girl, like
I'm like, what is this rat?
That's worse.
How big
a shark, I understand.
Like,
but a man-eating rat, I'm leaving New York.
I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. Is that on our continent? I might need to go somewhere else. I'm already messed up because of these murder hornets. Are we gonna handle that? All right, let's. All right. So, so yeah, this guy, and then I like how, I mean, I'm not blaming the people, but they got mad at the police chief, and because they don't know. But I'm like, it's kind of messed up that he gets blamed because it's like, oh, you knew already when he actually closed the beach. And then the mayor's like, well, you can't do that. You need to go through City Hall or whatever. And like, it's like, it's not his fault, but he's being blamed for it.
But ain't that always the way? Right?
Yeah,
right. He made a decision like, let's do this. And the mayor's saying, oh, you can't do that with my little anchor jacket on.
Yeah. I don't get that suit jacket with the anchors on it. What was that? Oh, man. No, dude, just don't. But that's just telling, and things haven't changed. We see that now, and they're still doing it now. Like, we're a year into COVID, over a year at this point, and it's still like, oh, it's the highest cases we've ever had. Let's open everything up. We can't keep doing this to our economy. Here's the thing. The funny thing, especially in Jaws, it's like they never look at the bigger picture, right? Because if he had closed the beach for that time and they hired a person to go get it, they might have gotten in and been able to open up. Maybe not 4th of July, but maybe a little bit afterwards or whatever. And you would have been fine. But now that you had all those tourists there and there was a shark attack while all those tourists were there, now nobody's going to come. Like you said, summer's over. Nobody's coming back here.
Yeah. Well, that too. And just like they had time before 4th of July. Like they still had time. Like I know you'd like it's the whole weekend or whatever, but you close it for the first day. You go out there and investigate. Like I feel like you might have lost a day and a half.
Yeah.
That you can go back to normal. But nope, that's not what happened, and people died.
And people died. All right, can we talk about these fools that were going out with like regular fishing rods trying to catch a shark?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of dumb people. Like, I got dynamite. Like, you about to blow yourself up.
I was like, man, they was getting on those boats with some of them were rowboats.
Yeah. Yeah, all that for $3,000. What's that in today's money?
$14,000.
Oh, good for you. That's not enough.
Yeah, I looked it up. So yeah, it was 14,000, and then Quint when he asked for whatever, I think he asked for 10, right? He was asking for around $50,000 to catch it.
Not enough, but at least that's a decent amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought to
Yeah.
do it while we were watching. I was like, I'm going to see how much money that is.
What got me is that I don't know. You heard about the people was like, "What's 3,000 divided by 4?" And I'm like, 750. Come on, let's do basic math.
Yeah. Honestly, that's not hard to do.
No, it's 3/4. Come on now.
Um,
Yes.
So yeah, these people, it's just funny how stupid they are. And I do love the scene of them catching the shark. It's always, and then the first thing you want to do, yep, that's it, and we've got it, and blah blah blah. And I hate the mayor so much because you've got this expert, never want to listen to the experts, of course. Still same thing today. Never want to listen to the experts. He's like, yeah, this might not be our shark. We need to, he didn't even say like, this is definitely not it. He's like, hey, why don't we need to do an autopsy to make sure this is what we got, And no, I can't do it. I understand not opening them up on the dock or whatever, but
did he say let's cut it open on the dock? I mean, the mayor's like, we're not about to gut this fish on the dock. I'm like, but did he ask you to? I mean, we could take it back to the lab or something.
Yeah, it's like, come
But
on.
yeah.
You got the expert there to help you. Like, let's listen.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't it happen in like every movie? The expert's like, well, maybe we should pause a second. They're taking photos and writing, newsletters in a newspaper or whatever, and it's just like, you just found a shark, and you're in the ocean, so
yeah, you're like, this is it. This is the shark. We've got it. It was a tiger shark.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so I guess the second half of this movie is them on the boat.
Yeah.
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 I thought that was well done.
We gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always seen that. Now I've finally seen the rest of the movie surrounding it. That was a good scene though, with him seeing the shark and being like, yeah.
Yeah, like this boat can't handle it. Yeah. Yeah. I do like it because there's like a lot of tension between the characters, and which might have to be because two of the people didn't like each other in real life. So that might have helped.
Okay.
So you had that, and just all like before you see the shark, it's like now the shark is stalking them, right? And they're doing all of this stuff, and it's not working, it's not enough, and it's just like, oh, the shark wouldn't be able to dive with this barrel attached to it, and it does it with no problem. Now there's 3 barrels attached. It's like,
yeah.
They can't handle 3. I'm telling you, it can. It's like, yeah, it can. So I thought that was good. Like I thought, like when they're like, just telling, like at that night scene when he's like telling the story of the USS Indianapolis. Like I thought that was just like kind of deep.
Yeah.
It's just a good scene overall. But yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. The vindictive shark, like, why is this shark attacking this boat?
Yeah, I don't, no, that's not a thing. I'm not saying that some animals can't be vindictive, but I don't think sharks are. Like,
no, I'm gonna say most animals aren't.
I don't know. I feel like a lion might be.
No, I feel like something like an ape or a monkey would be.
Okay, yeah.
Like they will remember you, and like I feel like that. I don't know about lion. And maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Someone can tell me how wrong I am, and I need to know about nature or something.
But fine. I'm gonna say for most wild animals, if it's too much work to get the food, then they're not gonna go for it.
Yeah, I feel like this shark was like, you attacked me, so I'm about to attack you. Yeah. And just kept going and going.
Yeah, because I'm like, after 1 or 2 tries, I think that shark would have just, gone on to something else. Because it's like, it's not worth the calories you're expending to get the food you're going to eat. So they
Right.
go
That and
somewhere
I
else.
mean he got shot with like 3 harpoons and like it was taking a beating. Like
Okay.
he might have just been like, you guys aren't worth it. Especially when he has like a beach full of people to eat. So,
True. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's each that beach full of people. Also, I looked it up. Sharks eat um 1 to 10% of their body weight per week. So, did this shark eat enough? Is the question.
It was a
Well,
really good shark though.
How many
that's what I was
tons
gonna
did they
say.
say?
I don't remember. It was
Did they say the
25
weight?
feet though.
It was 25 feet. He mentioned the tons afterwards. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Hmm.
I mean, I can do a quick Google. How much do sharks weigh?
No. Well, this was
Why
supposed to
not?
be a really big one. How big the
Yeah,
great?
there's really big sharks.
Yeah. Well, it's a great white. So
Yeah.
was that like a normal size great white or?
I think that's big for a great white.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Um, we're gonna talk about the cage. All right, my dude with the the dart or whatever. What? Why was it outside of the cage? Like, and you get rammed, so you dropped it. Like, good job, man.
That
Good
guy was the
job.
worst. Like, you're supposed to be so knowledgeable, but then you like suck when we actually need you to do something.
Yeah. Oh, like he dropped the shark tooth, which I guess we were backtracking a bit. I hate the mayor because,
Oh yeah.
like, do you have the tooth? Like, okay, dude, man, come on. Like, you don't have the tooth. I don't
Hey, I
believe
got the
you.
name of the shark. Ironically, they said a 25-foot shark too.
What?
5,000 pounds.
5,000 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
So,
heavy.
and they said
uh,
that is
was that 50 pounds of food per 10%? 10% is 500 pounds.
500.
So,
So, but it ate 3 people by that time?
yeah, one was a boy.
Okay. One was
Plus the meat they were putting in the ocean and stuff.
well. If they ate you, it would probably be need for like 5.
ha ha ha. Yeah.
Um,
only about 2 of me, but
But 5 of me.
but yeah, it did have
yeah.
a full blown adult, right? In the pond. So 2 adults. It had the
Yeah.
girl too.
Yeah, but she was smaller. So let's say she weighed what, 120
Yeah.
plus a man, 180 plus a little boy, 50. So they're still hungry.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. All right.
Yeah.
But okay, did everybody see them blowing the shark up with the canister like we saw that, right? So like,
Yes.
okay. Just making sure. All right, but all in all, I was surprised this movie was 2 hours. I kept going like, how are they gonna make this a 2 hour movie? But it was like all of it was interesting. So
Yeah, well, when you have the first part being handling the people on land, and then the second half is them hunting down the shark, and then it kind of gives like a different tone to it.
mhm.
So that was thinking it too, like, oh, this movie is exactly 2 hours, but they spaced it out well.
Yeah, they definitely did. They just definitely spaced it out well. But yeah, I don't know. That was about all my thoughts on it. Y'all have any other thoughts on Jaws?
No, I mean we can get into my random movie facts.
Okay, I think it's time for random movie facts.
All right. So apparently, again, this is the internet, so I don't know how true it is.
Everything's true
This
on
is
the internet.
Of course it is, but I gotta put that out there because for these stories, I wasn't quite sure how true they were. I mean, I'm always like, I don't know, but this time I'm really like, I don't know.
Okay.
So apparently this is like the first true summer blockbuster. So I'm guessing back.
1975.
Well, let me finish the story. So back in the day, all the bad movies were released during the summer since people were out during the summer and not going to movies. And then Christmas was the time that all the blockbusters came out. So, but this movie had a lot of delays, which we'll talk about later. So the release got pushed back to the summer. But since it was really good, everyone went to go see it, and it marked the boon of summer blockbusters.
I could believe that. I mean, we'll have to look at like box office information to see if
Yeah.
that's true, but I can see that. I
I mean,
mean,
it's such a believable story.
it used to be that, you know, nobody went to go see movies in like January or whatever, but we've had a few
Yeah.
big movies in January now.
Yeah. So this was at the time the highest grossing film until Star Wars came out, I believe.
Oh, was it 1977?
Came out before Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe Star Wars was 77. I could be
Yeah, I
wrong.
think
All the
so.
Star Wars fans are going to be mad at me.
It was 77.
And back then it was known as Star Wars, just Star Wars, not Episode 4, not A New Hope. It was just Star Wars. But
Okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
interesting movie facts.
Yes. So this movie was way over budget. It had a budget of $4 million. That's such a ridiculous number.
Wow. Yeah.
It cost
That doesn't even pay Robert Downey Jr.
it just So the budget was for $4 million. It cost $9 million to make. It was supposed to film in 55 days. It took 159 days.
Oh.
So Spielberg thought like this was going to be like the end of his career. He's like 100 days over, you're right. He's like nearly double the budget. No, he more than doubled the budget. But it's because they ran into a lot of issues. One was with the mechanical shark that I was telling you about. And it's because Spielberg insisted on filming on the Atlantic Ocean instead of filming on a studio lot in a tank.
Well, it probably made it look better, especially for
yeah.
1975.
For 1975, they definitely benefited from being on the ocean. But maybe they could have did it in a pond or something. I don't know.
That might have worked.
Yeah, so like Spielberg attested to like his inexperience because I think he only did one movie before this. So there's a lot of issues with the salt water. At one point, the boat that they were on, the Orca, actually sank with the actors on it.
Oh boy.
So there is some issues. And like I brought up that because of the issues with the shark, they actually had to shoot the movie without the shark because the shark wasn't working.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So John Williams did the music for this. Very iconic. Fits it perfectly. Definitely adds to that suspense to the movie. And when Spielberg first heard it, he thought it was a joke. Like, no, seriously, what's the theme of the movie? And John Williams is like, no, that's it.
It is so iconic now, Dan.
It is so iconic. And it's just like, it wouldn't be the same without that music.
Nah. Wow. It is funny how many times people would be like, man, this isn't good. Why do we do this? And it turns out to be like something that just lives on through time, you know?
Yeah. So Spielberg was not the first director for this movie.
Oh.
So the guy they originally got, Richard somebody or another, so when meeting with the producers and stuff, he kept calling Jaws a whale. And so the producers fired him because they said they did not want someone who didn't know the difference between a shark and a whale.
That's fair enough. You know, I mean, I would say that was petty, but you know what? No, man. It's if you're making a movie about a shark, you should probably know what a shark is.
I mean, I feel like that's important. They're they're different animals.
Very different. Mammals. Yeah, I was like, one's a mammal. One breathes air. Let's remember that. Yeah, one cannot breathe underwater. All right.
They used 3 mechanical sharks for this film, costing about $250,000 a piece.
Wow, that was a lot of 70s money right there.
Yeah, that's what's that, a third of their budget right there on a mechanical shark that didn't work?
Wait, what was the budget? $4 million?
$4 million.
It's a quarter of a quarter, whatever a quarter of a quarter is.
I think that's the third. Or, no, it's a
No, a
quarter.
third is bigger than a
I
quarter.
know a third is bigger than a quarter.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, it was a big chunk of their budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the shark attacking the cage.
Hmm.
And so the scene where the cage is empty and the shark is just like going crazy at the cage after
Yeah.
Hopper gets out, that is actual footage of a shark attacking the cage.
Oh, a shark actually attacked the cage.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Spielberg liked it so much he insisted on putting it in the movie. And
They had a
because
shark attack an empty cage, right? And they had the actor in the
no, the
cage.
shark attacked the cage on its own. The cage just happened to be empty.
Oh.
So, because he wanted it in the movie, that is why Harper survives. Because okay, this was a book first. If you guys didn't know,
Oh, okay. Nope, didn't know that.
so in the movie, Hopper dies. He gets in a cage and he gets like thrown out, and the shark eats him. So, but because Spielberg wanted to use the film of the shark attacking it, but obviously the cage is empty.
Yeah.
So that's why he survives in the movie, simply because Steven Spielberg wanted to use that scene.
Fair enough. I'm glad two people didn't die. Jeez. Also, why
Yeah.
didn't he go look? You stab the shark in the eye. It's that close. You have a knife on you. Stop stabbing it in its nose or whatever and stab it in the eye. I guarantee you, if you stab it in the eye, it's going to stop and swim away. Like it's not going to keep attacking.
Again, I'm like this guy. He was the worst. Like honestly, I wouldn't mind if he died. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like it hasn't bit you. It's that close. I know you're scared. I'm looking at the other guy was talking about how you notice the lifeless black eyes so much. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna stab it in the eye. I don't like because
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know how you keep fighting when someone stabbed you in the eye. I feel like you just don't.
You don't. That's like game over right there.
Yeah, should have did
Yeah.
that, dummy. Also, I'm gonna need shark cages to not get bent by sharks. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty.
they need to be better structured.
I'm sure they're better now. Time and technology.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
if I'm in a shark cage, I think the point is for me not to be eaten by a shark.
I mean, that's a valid thing to want.
Yeah. I feel like it was weird that it bent the bar so easily, though. I'm like, can a shark just do that? Like,
I didn't they do a Mythbusters thing on it, and I think it can, but maybe not as much as it did in the movie.
yeah.
I have to look back into that. I don't know.
Yeah, because it bent it and it was like in the cage, and I'm like,
Yeah, it was, and that guy's like, "Oh no, get out!" I'm like, "Dude."
I think it's better structure now.
I will hope.
I will. All right. Any other movie facts?
Yep, I have two more. So the story Quint told about the USS Indianapolis is something that happened in real life.
Mm.
I thought so.
A ship that after delivering the nuclear bomb to Japan and whatnot, Japan shot at the ship and it sank. And there's 1,200 crewmen on the ship. 300 went down with the ship. 890 were in the water. Because their mission was super secret, it took 4 days for the Navy to realize that the ship was missing, and that guys really did die by shark attack. Now, that's not how everyone died, but a combination of dehydration, exposure, being in salt water way too long, starvation, and shark attacks.
Because that's one thing I was like, he said, like, oh, 4 days later. And I'm like, yo, your skin is open, right? Like,
Yeah.
you in water that long, you're like, your skin breaks open. Like, I don't think, especially salt water is dehydrating you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was I don't remember the word for it, but there's a word for being in salt water too long and what it can do to you.
4 days
yeah,
is
that
a
was-
long time.
Yeah, that was an actual thing that happened.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mentioned before that this was a book first. So Spielberg said after reading the book, he was rooting for the shark because the human characters were so unlikable.
I thought some of them were likable in the movie.
Well, in the book, there's a lot of subplots and that he didn't include in the movie. Like how Chief Brody, his wife was having an affair with Hopper because she got bored with her life with Brody and apparently she was dating I did read the book by the way. She back in the
Of
day
course you
she
did.
dated Shut up.
Oh, she reads. No. All right.
But anyways, back in the day, she had dated his brother and decided to have an affair with him because she was bored with her life. Then, of course, later on she regrets it or whatever. But anyways, he hated that part of the story. And the mafia was in this book.
What?
And the mafia was the one who was
Wow.
pressuring the mayor to keep the beaches open because they had a lot of money in their real estate investments.
Oh, see,
So
that
if the
would have
beaches are,
made more sense.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
But he
mean,
did
not
not include
that,
that.
not that, like an actual mayor wouldn't just do it because it was 4th of July. It's not like that was far fetched. It's not. So never mind.
No, it's not far-fetched, but in the book, that is why he was, so insistent on keeping it open. And then someone just started investigating on like why he refuses to close the beach, and it was because of the mafia.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was this weird dinner party. It was, it's a good book, but there were some weird things.
Okay. It's all good.
Nitpicks. I only have one.
Okay.
So their youngest son, they keep leaving him alone by the water. Like, is this a thing that
Okay.
people do? This kid's like 3 years old and he's like in the ocean by himself. Like, what's going on?
Man, we went downtown and we're by, I guess, what river is that? Cuyahoga River.
Yes.
And dude, I'm like, there's just like a pole that's like 4 feet high, so taller than my son, and that's it. That's the only thing between the edge in this river. And I'm like, this isn't. No, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, I got the strongest grip on my son because I'm like, you're not going into this water. Like,
Exactly. And I'm like, this kid, and they're just like, well, Michael was the oldest kid. I guess the little baby didn't have a name. If they said it, I don't know what it was.
I don't remember what it was.
But he's like, oh, he's by the pond. And I'm like, your child is just by the pond by himself? Or like, if you're not afraid of him drowning, be afraid of him getting kidnapped or something.
Right? Yeah, you just got the little kid all by himself.
But you know
Like, I
what?
just didn't.
Back then they didn't. Back then they didn't worry about that because it wasn't prevalent as it is in 2021.
Y'all ever see this documentary, Abducted in Plain Sight?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you told us about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When did
Yeah.
that take place? Was
That
that?
was the 70s.
It was the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't leave your little kid. Oh my god. Okay. So I have a few nitpicks. One, obviously this is under nitpicks because you can't have a movie without this. But sharks don't like eat people. Like,
No, they don't.
See, I was letting stuff like that go, but okay.
like, okay, if they think a person is food, they will bite. But from what I've heard, at least from the experts, they don't really like people. So after they bite, like, they're not gonna keep chomping down on a person. Like, they're gonna bite and then it's like, oh, this is not the food I want. Swim away. Will you lose a leg, an arm, or a chunk out of your abdomen? Maybe.
Yeah, it's because they have so many. They have so many layers of teeth that it tears your limb away. But yeah, you never hear about a shark just totally eating a person.
So, like, I feel like that shark after the first attack would have been gone. Like, I don't.
True, but they did mention that this one was acting different than normal. Like, I think they said several times, even Quint said that he's never seen a shark do that. So, I mean, you're absolutely right. Sharks don't do that, but I do think they kind of hinted like this one was different than the norm.
Okay. Got you. Nah, I guess that was it. Besides not stabbing the shark in the eye. Stab it in the eye. Yeah. Other than that, no, I thought this was really good. So we're up to rating it then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna give it I pay for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it I pay for that because I feel like if I saw it on TV, I would watch it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And I also will give it I will pay for that.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of time to see a movie that came out back in the 70s. I'm like, oh, it's a good movie because sometimes you're like, this is dumb or really cheesy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it holds up really well outside of the mechanical shark at the end.
Yeah. I mean, it actually does hold up. I mean, besides the glaring 70s, like you can tell 70s by way people are dressed or whatever, it still holds up. Maybe the quality of the picture, I guess.
It's not in HD.
Yeah. But no, like this movie really does hold up. So yeah, pretty good movie. So I guess that is 3D Rivals' verdict on Jaws. We would pay for it.
Don't watch the sequels.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
I
they were
was
bad.
going to suggest, I was like, maybe on Shark Week we'll watch Jaws too.
Okay, Jaws 2's not bad. It's
The
the
third
other
one is
ones.
horrible.
Yeah, well, me and my wife were talking about Deep Blue Sea, and that's when I was like, man, we should have had a Shark Month. We should have like watched Jaws and then Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. Let's just put it where upcoming Shark Week, whenever that comes up, we watch one of those shark movies and review it.
Okay.
All right. It's on the list.
That's what's
You
up.
heard it first here on 3D Rivals.
Shark Week. If you guys want to reach out to us, you definitely can. We are on Gmail. It's 3drivals@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/3drivals. If you want to tweet at us, we're on Twitter. That's at 3_rivals on Twitter. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and listening, guys, and peace out.